So now we're talking about ease of doing business, and at the top of that ladder is the Corporate Affairs Commission, the CAC. When you talk about registering your business and anything around that, of course, they come to your mind. So we have joining us to tell us what they have been doing in this respect. The Registrar General and Chief Executive Officer of Corporate Affairs Commission, Mr. Garba Abubakar, joins us from our Abuja studio. Good morning, Mr. Abubakar. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Ini. Thanks for having me.
Great. So, I mean, recently you told us that you're going to deregister about 100,000 companies. What's the status now? What's the backstory?
While we are on, the deregistration is actually to sanitize the register. We have over 2 million companies in our register, about over 2 million business names, about 150,000 incorporated trustees, and we started registering limited partnerships and limited liability partnerships from January 2021. We have discovered that we have so many companies in the register, but those companies have not been providing the necessary returns as required by law. When you register a company, there are obligations attached to this registration. You don't just register and put your certificate in your briefcase and go to sleep. So it is a requirement of law that you must provide information about the company to the CAC every year. And when there are changes to the composition of the board or to the address or to the shareholding of the company, you are required to notify CAC as these changes happen. And you may be aware, we are presently in the grey list of the Financial Action Task Force because of a mutual evaluation report that was carried out by the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa. Part of the measures to exit the grey list includes introducing effective measures in our registration processes and in the way and manner we deal with these companies. You cannot have a situation where out of 2 million companies, less than 40% of these companies are rendering returns or are active in our register. So this is an indication that the owners of these companies don't really need them, because if you need your company and you're actually operating this company, you should be rendering returns. So because of this, the Commission issued a public notice that companies that have not filed their returns in the last 10 years should do so. And we've already published a list of the first 100,000 companies that may be struck off from the register if they do not file these returns within the next 3 months. The requirement of the law is where the Commission has reasons to believe that the company is inactive by its failure to file its annual returns for a period of 10 years, then that company may be struck off from the register. But the law has also given these companies the option to apply for voluntary striking off. The grounds upon which voluntary striking off will be allowed is when the company has not carried out any business at all. If you have carried out a business in the past, then you have to go through the process of winding up. So what we are doing is to sanitize the register so that government will have a clear idea of the active businesses that are operating in this economy. When the name is struck off, that may not be the end of the company, because the law has given them the option to apply to relist within a period of 10 years after the name has been struck off. Not just the company, but even any creditor of the company. Maybe you've granted facility to the company and you are not aware that they have not been filing the returns and the name is struck off. You will not be able to recover your exposure to the company if the name is struck off. So the law has given the creditor the right to even apply for the name to be reinstated, for him to recover his exposure. But one implication of striking off is whatever asset the company has or any property the company has will be vested in the federal government bona vacantia, because it's like a lost property. So this, as I said, these are necessary measures. It's not motivated by revenue drive. No. These are part of measures of ensuring that we sanitize the register and only active entities remain in the register.
All right, sir, but on the other side, I did a little bit of search on the internet, and we still have a lot of complaints about the CAC portal. It doesn't make it easy for businesses to interact with you, either for registering or anything like that. And I mean, we're supposed to have embraced technology at this point.
I don't know when last you did your interview or interaction. I can tell you, there is no agency of government that operates a fully self-service portal like the CAC. I challenge you to check from any other government organization that renders services to the public, and you can ask the members of the public. What we have is comparable to the best you have in the world. This register was launched in January 2021, and it allows you to transact with the CAC end-to-end electronically. You don't need the intervention of a staff. You don't need the intervention of anybody. The challenge we have is some of the customers, they don't check their own internet access. If your internet is not strong, you will not be able to download documents from some are using their mobile device to download documents. Some are they don't use their laptops, they don't use desktop. So if your internet is weak, you may have challenges. But I can tell you from January 2021 to date that this new registration portal was launched. We've not had any serious downtime. Our hosting facility has committed to providing services uptime 98%, and we have not recorded any serious downtime. You can ask all those that are transacting with us. So, and the stage we are now is every information you require on any company registered in Nigeria is available online. Companies can file every transaction with the CAC, either regarding their annual returns, their beneficial owners, change of directors, allotment of shares. All these things are available electronically, and they have been doing it seamlessly. So maybe your own research, I'm sure, is not recent. And
it was just yesterday. It was just yesterday.
Hello?
It was yesterday. I did it.
No, it's not true. Okay. No. I have the statistics. From our statistics, we render reports to the Public Secretariat every month on our performance. We render reports to the Planning and Research Department of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment every month. We query the database. We have our own reporting tool. We register 98% of these companies within 24 hours. I can assure you of this. The only area we may have issues now is the surge in the filing of annual returns. Before now, we have fewer number of approving officers that approve annual returns. But because of the threat to strike off companies, we have a lot of pending applications for annual returns. And if it has taken company 20 years to file its returns, I don't know why they should put CAC under pressure to approve these returns within 5 days, within a day or two. So for every service that we render, we have service timeline, and this thing is published. And our customers know, and they can hold us to account on that. But right. What I can tell you is there is no agency that operates, that deals with the public in Nigeria that renders this kind of services we do as a truly self-service portal.
Yes. You are so confident, Mr. Abubakar. So tell us now, if I were... If I were to register a company, could you give me a timeline how, when I start and when I can say it's concluded, the process is concluded?
Okay, thanks. Okay. We have two types of customers. We have accredited customers. It could be a lawyer, a chartered accountant, or a chartered secretary. Then we have the public user. You can be a public user. The system allows the owner of the business to register the company himself. But one of the conditions is his name must appear as one of the directors or one of the owners or one of the partners. So the first thing you need to do is to create an account on the company registration portal if you're a public user. When you create the account, you apply for the name. Name approval is done the same day. So if you apply for a name, you get it the same day. Once that name is approved, you can proceed to provide the information about your objects. You don't need to submit articles of association. The articles are there for you to adopt. You can adopt the model articles depending on the type of company you have, or you can modify those model articles. Once you do that, you fill out the forms. The forms tells us who you are, your name, your address, your date of birth, and other particulars about you and all the other shareholders and directors, the number of shares taken by each director, the address of the company, the beneficial owners of this company. Once you do that and you submit, payment is made electronically, and the system is integrated with the stamp duty portal of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. So you stamp these documents seamlessly, and within 24 hours, I can assure you, upon submission of your application, once your application is okay, there are no issues. The objects are registrable, because where the object alludes to anything that is contrary to law, will not register it. Our officers will review this application, and once they are satisfied, then the application will be approved. You don't come to CAC to collect your certificate. You generate your certificate from your own dashboard, from your portal. So even the documents of incorporation, like the memorandum and articles, the certified extract that tells you who the directors are, who the shareholders are, who the beneficial owners are, all these things are transmitted to you electronically. You just open your dashboard and you download these documents. So end to end, these processes are electronic. Yes, there is no intervention. Yes.
Is this what the beneficial ownership register is about?
Yes, the beneficial ownership register is about the true owners of these companies. The law allows you to register a company using another company as a shareholder. Or if you have, in the past, people who are using complex arrangements to hide who the true owners are. But global attention has shifted. The world now, before now, you have what you call veil of incorporation. You may not know who the actual owners of these companies are. You may have to lift the veil to know who the actual owners are. But with the reform that introduced beneficial ownership disclosure at the point of registration, or when there is any change, from the onset, you know who the real owners of these companies are. So the essence of this is to ensure transparency and strengthen our anti-corruption initiative. And this is consistent with our commitment under the Open Government Partnership and Initiative and under the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. These are two global bodies that Nigeria is a member of. And part of the commitment is countries must introduce a register of beneficial ownership of companies. So Nigeria launched its register. The register was developed by the CAC and is the first register of beneficial owners in Africa that is designed in line with beneficial ownership data standards. It's consistent with the requirement of the Financial Action Task Force. It's consistent with the requirements of the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, and is consistent with the requirements of the OGP. The register is there publicly. Information in the register is accessible at no cost. So if you go to bor.cac.gov.ng, you'll be able to know who owns what in a Nigerian company. So this is what the register is all about. And you can also access the information from search.cac.gov.ng. Let me mention that this register was developed, the standalone register was developed with support from the World Bank under the Fiscal Governance and Institutional Framework Initiative of the Federal Ministry of Finance. And the register is live, and anybody can access information on the beneficial owners of companies. Okay, go on.
Yeah, okay. We have to draw the curtains there, Mr. Garba Abubakar. Thank you so much for your time. The Registrar General and Chief Executive Officer of Corporate Commissions, of Corporate Affairs Commission. I hope you will indulge us when we invite you again to conclude this conversation. Looks like time is not ever a friend on this show.
Thank you for having me, Ini. Thank you. Thank you.